When your cat stretches the moment they see you, do you actually know what that means? Sure, it looks like they're just loosening up. But behind that simple movement, there's something most owners completely overlook. It's one of the most intimate signals your cat can give you, and if you ignore it, which most people do, you might be shutting down the one way they're trying to connect. Stick with me for the next 20 minutes, because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your cat completely differently. You're going to notice things you've walked past 1,000 times without ever understanding what they meant. So get comfortable, and let's start with what that stretch really is. Here's a question most people never think to ask. If your cat was just working out stiffness, why do they always seem to do it right when you walk in? Why not 5 minutes earlier when you weren't there? Why not while they were still lying alone in the sun, half asleep, with no one watching? Because this isn't about their body. It's about yours. Researchers who study feline behavior call this a social stretch. It's a deliberate action triggered by your presence, not by tight muscles, not by waking up, by you. Think about that for a second. Your cat sees you, and something in their brain says now. That timing isn't random, it's communication. And here's what makes this even more fascinating. Cats don't do this for everyone. If you've ever noticed your cat stretching more around you than other people in your home, that's not coincidence. That's preference. That's your cat telling you, in their own silent language, that you matter. Most owners see this and think cute and move on. But you're not most owners. Now you know this is your cat reaching out. And by the way, if your cat never stretches when they see you, don't skip to the end just yet. What that means might surprise you, and we'll get to it in the final section. Have you ever wondered if wild cats do this too? They don't. This is where things get personal. The social stretch your cat does when they see you doesn't exist in nature. Wild cats never evolved this behavior because they never needed it. They had no one to communicate with this way. There was no human standing in a doorway to greet, no one to signal comfort to, no one whose attention was worth earning. But when cats began living alongside humans thousands of years ago, something shifted. They started developing signals meant only for us. Meowing at adults, that's for humans. Wild cats only meow as kittens, calling for their mother. Once they grow up, that sound disappears from their vocabulary, unless a human is standing there expecting to be talked to. The slow blink, designed for human bonding. And this stretch, same thing. Your cat isn't running ancient software. They're running an updated version, one that evolved specifically because humans became part of their world. A study published in Animal Cognition found that domestic cats have developed a unique range of behaviors used exclusively for interacting with people. Not with other cats, not with prey, just us. So when your cat stretches in front of you, they're not doing something instinctive. They're doing something learned, something their ancestors had no reason to do. And that makes it more meaningful, not less. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your cat, hit like and subscribe. It helps other cat lovers find us. And honestly, more people need to understand what their cats are really saying. Did you know your cat has scent glands in places you've probably never thought about? One of them is right between their paw pads. And here's where it gets interesting. When your cat stretches, especially when they knead or press their paws into something, those glands activate. They release pheromones that are completely undetectable to us, but speak volumes to other cats. So what does this have to do with you? When your cat stretches near you, on the couch where you sit, on the bed where you sleep, or right at your feet, they're not just saying hello. They're leaving invisible marks that say, "This one's mine." It's territorial, yes, but not in an aggressive way. This is comfort territory, safe space territory. This human is part of my world, and I want everyone to know it territory. You'll never smell it, you'll never see it. But to your cat, they've just signed their name on you. And here's the part most owners find strangely emotional. Your cat doesn't do this with just anyone. They do it with the people and places they've decided belong in their inner circle. Think about your own home for a second. Is there one chair your cat always stretches next to? One spot on the rug? One side of the bed? That's not random furniture preference. That's a map of where they feel safest, and you're at the centre of it. Ever notice your cat stretches for you but barely acknowledges someone else in the house? That's not random, and it's definitely not about who feeds them. Cats are selective, almost ruthlessly so. And when they stretch in front of someone, they're not performing a party trick. They're showing who ranks highest in their internal world. In multi-cat studies, researchers noticed that cats don't display social behaviours equally to all humans in a household. They pick favourites. And those favourites get more eye contact, more slow blinks, more vocalisations, and yes, more stretches. So if your cat walks past your partner without a glance, but rolls into a full stretch the second you sit down, that's not coincidence. That's hierarchy. You're their person. Now, here's the part that might sting a little. If you're on the other side of this, if your cat stretches for someone else but not for you, it doesn't mean they dislike you. It just means you haven't hit that level yet. Cats require consistency, calm energy, and time. The bond is earned, not given. And unlike dogs, cats don't hand out and affect tense affection just because you exist in the same room. They watch. They test. They notice how you react when they're anxious, how patient you are when they ignore you, whether you force interaction or let them come to you. Every one of those moments is quietly being logged. Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and caught your cat stretching right there next to you, almost like they were waiting? That's because they were. Cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk. So while you were sleeping, your cat was likely awake for hours. They could have stretched any time. They didn't. They waited until your eyes opened. This isn't coincidence. This is ritual. Behaviourists believe this specific stretch serves as a greeting, a reset, a way of saying, "You're back in my world now. Let's begin." It's the feline version of a good morning, and they reserve it for the people they've bonded with most. If you live alone with your cat, you might think this is just normal. But pay attention next time you have guests. Your cat probably won't stretch in front of them first thing in the morning. That behaviour is saved for you. There's also a vulnerability element here. Morning time means your cat has been guarding you while you were unconscious. That stretch when you wake, it's them finally relaxing, letting their guard down, telling you, "We made it through another night." When you think about it that way, it stops being a small throwaway moment. It becomes something closer to a quiet promise, repeated every single day, whether you notice it or not. Ever tried walking to the kitchen and suddenly your cat is stretched out right in the middle of the doorway or sprawled across the hallway exactly where you need to step? This isn't bad timing, it's strategy. Cats are hyper-aware of spatial dynamics. They know where you walk, they know your patterns, and when they choose to stretch in your exact path, they're putting themselves in a spot you cannot ignore. Think about it from their perspective. They could stretch anywhere, behind the couch, under the table, in a corner where you'd never notice. But they don't. They pick the one place guaranteed to make you stop. This is attention-seeking, yes, but not in a desperate way. It's confident, almost cocky. Your cat is saying, "I know you're busy, but I'm more important than wherever you were going." And here's the thing, they're usually right. Most owners instinctively stop, look down, maybe laugh or say something. The cat got what they wanted. Acknowledgement. A pause in your momentum where they became the focus. Some behaviourists see this as a mild control move. Your cat is testing whether they can redirect your attention at will, and every time you stop, you confirm that they can. If you're watching this and thinking, "That's exactly what mine does every single morning," drop a comment and tell us where your cat likes to ambush you. We read every one. There's a specific version of this behaviour worth calling out on its own. The stretch that comes paired with a big exaggerated yawn. A lot of owners lump this in with the regular greeting stretch, but researchers who study body language in cats treat it as its own signal. When a cat stretches and yawns together in front of you, especially after a period of stillness, it's often a release of tension rather than a greeting. Something built up, maybe anticipation, maybe mild stress, maybe just the effort of holding a relaxed pose for a long time, and the stretch-yawn combo is the physical unwinding of that. If you see this right after you've been away for a while, or right after a loud noise or a stressful visitor has left the house, that's your cat processing the moment and physically letting it go in front of you. Being trusted with that unwinding is significant. Cats don't let their guard down like that around something or someone they don't feel safe with. Most people never think about which way their cat is pointed when they stretch, but it's not incidental. Cats often orient the stretch so their body is angled toward you, sometimes even making brief eye contact right at the peak of the stretch, with their back arched and their belly slightly exposed. That belly exposure is the key detail. In the animal world, exposing your stomach is about as vulnerable as it gets. It's where all the vital organs sit, unprotected. A cat that stretches toward you, in your direct line of sight, with their belly on display for even a second, is making a statement about how safe they feel in that exact moment. Compare that to a cat that stretches facing away from you, tucked into a corner back toward the room. That's not a rejection of you, but it is a different kind of stretch, one that's more about the cat's own comfort than about connecting with anyone watching. If you've ever raised a kitten, you might have noticed they don't start doing the full social stretch right away. It tends to develop over the first several months, and a lot of that timeline lines up with how much positive interaction the kitten has with people during that window. Kittens raised around calm, responsive humans tend to develop the social stretch earlier, and more frequently than kittens raised in chaotic environments or with limited human contact. That's a strong hint that this isn't hardwired the way, say, a startle reflex is. It's shaped by experience. Every time you responded warmly to a kitten's early attempts at connection, whether it was a wobbly stretch, a tiny mew, or just leaning into your hand, you were reinforcing a behaviour that would eventually become one of their signature ways of saying hello for the rest of their life. Not all stretches are created equal, and if you watch closely, you'll start to notice two distinct categories. There's the practical stretch, quick, functional, often after standing up from a nap, barely acknowledging anyone in the room. And then there's what some behaviourists informally call the show stretch, slower, longer, often held for a beat at full extension, and almost always performed with at least one eye checking to see if you're watching. The show stretch is the one worth paying attention to. It's theatrical on purpose. Your cat isn't just moving their body, they're putting on a small performance, and the audience they care about is you. If you've ever caught your cat mid-stretch, and they seem to pause slightly longer once they noticed you looking, that's not your imagination. That's the show stretch in action, and it's one of the clearest signs that the behaviour is aimed directly at getting your attention. If you have more than one cat in the house, stretching takes on an extra layer. In multi-cat households, stretching can also function as a subtle social cue between the cats themselves, not just toward humans. A cat stretching prominently in a shared space can be a quiet way of claiming that space without any actual confrontation. But here's what's interesting. Even in homes with several cats, owners often report that one particular cat still reserves their most elaborate, most drawn-out stretches specifically for a human, even when other cats are in the room. That tells you the human-directed version of this behaviour is operating on a different track entirely from the cat-to-cat territorial version. Your cat isn't confusing you with another cat when they stretch at you. They know exactly who they're signalling to. Let's slow down for a second because this part matters more than almost anything else in this video. Every time your cat stretches at you and you respond, even just with a glance, a soft word, or a slow blink back, you are shaping their future behaviour. Cats are constantly running a kind of ongoing experiment. If I do this, what happens? If the answer is consistently my person notices me, and something good happens, the behaviour gets reinforced and repeated. If the answer is consistently nothing happens, I get ignored, the behaviour fades. This is exactly why some owners feel like their cat used to stretch at them more often, and doesn't anymore. It's rarely that the bond broke. It's usually that the signal stopped getting a response, and the cat quietly adjusted. The good news is this works in both directions. If you want more of this behaviour, more of these little moments of connection, the fix isn't complicated. Notice it. Acknowledge it. Even a 2-second pause, where you make eye contact and speak softly to your cat, tells them the signal landed. Over weeks, that consistency rebuilds the habit. There's something worth sitting with here. A stretch seems like such a small throwaway gesture. 4 seconds, maybe 5, and then it's over. But when you understand everything underneath it, the deliberate timing, the learned behaviour evolved specifically for humans, the scent marking, the vulnerability of the belly exposure, the trust required to let their guard down in front of you, it stops looking small. Your cat is, in their own limited but genuine way, choosing you. Repeatedly, quietly, without asking for anything in return, except maybe a glance, a word, a moment of your attention. In a relationship where your cat can't say "I trust you" out loud, this is one of the closest things they have to saying it anyway. So what if your cat doesn't stretch when they see you? What if you've been watching this whole video thinking, "Mine never does that"? First, don't panic. This doesn't mean your cat hates you or that your bond is broken. But it does mean something worth paying attention to. Cats who don't stretch around their owners usually fall into one of two categories. Either they don't feel fully relaxed in the environment, or they've learned that stretching doesn't get a response. Remember what we talked about earlier. This behaviour evolved for humans, but it only sticks if it works. If your cat stretched in front of you 10 times, and you walked past without acknowledging them, they learned something. They learn that signal doesn't reach you. The good news, this can be rebuilt. Start paying attention. When your cat does anything that resembles reaching out, pause, acknowledge it. A slow blink, a soft word, a gentle touch if they're open to it. You're teaching them that their signals land with you. For cats who seem tense in general, look at the environment. Loud noises, unpredictable schedules, or chaos in the home can make a cat hold their body tight. They won't stretch because they don't feel safe enough to let go. Give it time, stay consistent, and watch what happens. So here's what we covered today. That stretch when your cat sees you isn't muscle maintenance. It's a learned, deliberate, human-directed signal that evolved specifically because of the bond between cats and people. It's scent marking, it's hierarchy, it's a morning ritual, it's a strategic bid for your attention, and in its quietest form, it's trust made visible for about 4 seconds at a time. Next time your cat stretches when they see you, don't just walk past it. Pause, say something. Give them that slow blink back. You're not just being polite, you're keeping the conversation going in the one language your cat has built entirely for you. If this video changed how you see your cat, even a little, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what your cat does the moment they see you. We read every single one, and honestly, some of the best moments in future videos come straight from what you share with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.